Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, where we gather to take a look at headlines from our city, our state, and our country. We take a look at your comments, ideas, questions, suggestions, news, and we combine all this information to better connect with each other and with our destination, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English-speaking locals living here in the city. Today is Friday. Friday. Cue the Friday music. Where is my Friday music? Here we go. Thank you.
Thank God it's
just a quickie. We don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But here we are. It is Friday, November 18. We're getting close to U.S. Thanksgiving. This is what happens when I read your comments at the corner of my eye. I was surprised by John's question. How do I know if a certain site has run out of vaccines for the flu, like the Naval Hospital? Oh, that's a no-brainer, John. You call. You give him a phone call and you say, do you still have any vaccines? Now, John has done something wonderful, which is he put a capital letter Q at the beginning of his comment. So if you have an important question like John's that you would like for us to look at, we're going to take a look at all of those towards the end of the broadcast. Between now and then, also, if you are new to the broadcast or new to the live experience of the broadcast and would like to let us know, just write the word new in your comment and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice welcome. If you're watching later on in the day on YouTube, well, we love you. You don't get to comment on YouTube, but we appreciate your likes. We appreciate your subscriptions and so forth. Today, we're going to have a very newsy broadcast, and that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It just happens that there's a lot of important news out there that we're going to share today. We're going to have a little interesting question because the 50 top restaurant. Well, we'll get to that in a second. I'm just wondering how you feel about Puerto Vallarta's culinary scene. I'm just going to spill my beans. The 50 most... what was it? The best 50 restaurants in Latin America. There was an award ceremony, and several of them came from Mexico. And I'm wondering how many restaurants you think made the top 50 list in all of Latin America from Puerto Vallarta. But we'll get to that in a second. First, let us dive into our news section as usual. Then we'll look at the weather, and we'll get to your comments. Okay, for starters, state officials have announced that the vehicle verification program will be launched again during the coming year, and then it will operate at 100%. This actually means two things. Number one, first, that the state government will conclude construction of a total of 80 verification spots, out of which 63 are already in operation. And the second thing that's going to happen is that if you don't have your vehicle verified, you will probably be fined. We recall that the verification program was launched tentatively by the state during the pandemic as a way to improve the air quality in the Guadalajara metropolitan area and also in Puerto Vallarta. Apparently, they are going at it now for real. The original project was met with a lot of resistance, both because of people kept saying, well, we don't want to pay to have to verify the vehicles. And then there was the pandemic as an excuse and whatnot. But apparently, if you own a vehicle, this is going to be for real starting sometime in 2023. The article was not more precise than what I've shared. Zapal authorities have announced that the upgrades along Basilio Badillo St in Colonia Emiliano Zapata are now in the third and final stage, with the pavement between Constitucion and Ignacio Vallarta streets almost ready for prime time. It is expected that traffic will resume to the street by the end of November. Also in Emiliano Zapata, Mayor Michel met with members of the Emiliano Zapata Neighborhood Association to address concerns that are happening in the neighborhood. This was a follow-up meeting to a previous one where the main concerns raised were public safety, trash management, homelessness, and ambulant salespeople, particularly on the beach. Those people present at this meeting thanked the government because apparently in less than a month, an improvement can already be appreciated. I wonder if this includes the sewer water problems on Insurgentes. You see, while this meeting was taking place, another new construction project in Colonia Versalles popped and started spilling water onto the street. This time around, it's a new construction near the intersection of Hamburgo and Liverpool streets, where thousands of liters of water from the phreatic mantle are flooding the street all the way to Francisco Medina Asensio Avenue. The good news is that this does not seem to be caca water. The bad news is that the natural water supply located under our city is so close to the surface in this particular area that this is likely to continue happening over and over again every time a new construction project gets started in Versalles that requires deep foundations to get it done. In other words, the taller they build them, the more they are bound to hit the phreatic layer and let go of our natural water resources. So we recently asked our returning snowbird friends what type of changes they were noticing in town upon arrival. I think we did this last week or the previous one. And many of you commented on increased prices and construction. Surprisingly, nobody mentioned traffic. But there is a lot of traffic now, every day of the week. And particularly as you try to get in and out of Puerto Vallarta on the north end and continue past the city heading south. The private sector is well aware that the federal highway is no longer sufficient. And even when the Federación Bridge is finished, and we have to remember that there's no budget for it or date in sight, it simply won't be enough. So authorities and members of the private sector are now proposing a wider libramiento, wider as in another one that goes around the mountains. This one would start from La Cruz de Guanacaxtle, heading behind the Bucerias mountainside, behind the Vista Vallarta Golf Center, and then heading back into town near the airport. Somebody even came up with the notion of building a train from Mismaloya to Punta de Mita, and it's not even Dia de los Inocentes or Mexican April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day. So all I can tell you is that when the new road from Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta, the new highway is completed, things are going to get really, really ugly in the city unless something gets done to address the increasing number of vehicles that are trying to get into the city. So there you have it. And let's see what else we have. Oh, this is just... First, they said that patrols were out of commission. Then our mayor denied it. Now, our police commissioner has confirmed that some patrols are out of circulation, but for a good reason. They have been parked in strategic places where most 911 calls come from, he said. So it's not that they don't have enough dough for the spare parts. They seem to choose to park them around the city and not in some sort of official garage. What do I know? I didn't know that crime could be discouraged by simply parking a patrol near places where crime takes place. But again, I'm just reading the news here. Let's take a look at the weather just to see what we can expect for the weekend. Oh, snarky. Everything's perfectly all right at Twitter now. Twitter's fine. Twitter is all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? And I am quoting our snarky weatherman, who also tells us that it is 25 degrees right now, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity is at 68%. Humidity, get your act together, please. We don't want any more of you, at least for a few months. Our weather forecast for today: clear through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 19. Tomorrow, Saturday, partly cloudy through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 20. Sunday, in a couple of days, it'll be overcast through the day with a high of 28 and a low of 20. Not bad at all. Moving right along, as I mentioned just a second ago, the Latin America's 50 Best Restaurants Awards took place Tuesday in the city of Mérida in the state of Yucatan. And 12 out of the 50 restaurants that were awarded are here in Mexico. But how many are in Puerto Vallarta? Any guesses? Feel free to write a single digit in your comment just to see how many restaurants you think in Puerto Vallarta are worthy of such list. And we'll come back to this at the end of the leisurely news. Meanwhile, as I mentioned yesterday, the long weekend starts today, and for many of us, it may make more sense to stay put at home with a well-stocked pantry and a healthy internet connection to binge on The Crown or whatever floats your boat. Hello, Luna. I'm in the middle of something. Just chill. Anyhow, you're probably better off. I love your number estimations, and one of you gets it right. I love it. Stay home this weekend. Hotels are expected to be full at 90%, so there's going to be a lot of people vacationing. And of course, as we mentioned, it is due to Mexican Revolution Day, which the official day is Sunday, the 20th, November 20th. The day that is celebrated is the 1st. And of course, there will be no official offices open on Monday, no banking. And tomorrow, we will have a special big, long section on the Mexican Revolution, what it's all about, and so forth and so on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Moving right along, if you enjoyed Latin American music and would like some suggestions on what to listen to, the Latin Grammy Awards took place last night in Las Vegas. I'm going to leave you with a list of all the winners, so that then you can probably head to Spotify and explore some of their music if you choose to do so. Moving back to this business of the best restaurants, some of you said 4, some of you said 6, 8, 3, 3, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3. And of course, Claudia said 0. Then again, Claudia is in the restaurant business, so she already knows the answer, I am sure. The fact of the matter is that not a single restaurant in Puerto Vallarta made the list. If you are surprised, you should not be. I am not. Now, we'd love to think that Puerto Vallarta is the end-all, be-all of gastronomy, and we are indeed lucky to have such a wonderful selection of restaurants in town. But Puerto Vallarta is just that. It is a destination with good restaurants. Restaurants are getting better and better, but not good enough for this list, apparently. The top restaurant in Mexico is once again Pujol in Mexico City, which came in at 7th place out of 50. 4 other restaurants in Mexico City made the list, along with one in Valle de Guadalupe, one in Ensenada, one in Tulum, one in Monterrey, and 2 in Guadalajara. So there you have it. You can take a look at the entire list of restaurants in Mexico in this article, which, as usual, you are going to find in the show notes. And now let's take a look at what you're up to. Yay, comment time. Lots of happiness, lots of good mornings. I very much appreciate that, particularly this weekend. We answer that question. Let's see. Ooh, Asian style chicken in slow cooker with snap peas, carrots, and broccoli. Good for you, Sherry. I'm a big slave to my slow cooker. I love to put it to good use. Luisa says, Buen Fin. That's correct. Remember that the Buen Fin is happening this weekend, the long weekend. Great opportunities if you shop carefully in many places. Let's see what else you got. WFH, buenos dias. Working from home. I see this morning and taking a big break to swap out my panela cheesecloth as I listen along to the chismes of the day. I love it. Hello, Muffin. Let's see what else we have. What? What's the new pre-construction called? That's clearly not for me. Because it doesn't have a Q, and I have no idea what you're talking about, Maria Elena. So, my bad. There's a new person. Hello, Susie. Hello from frigid Walla Walla, Washington. Coming back to Puerto Vallarta in December to our favorite place, Quinta Maria Cortez. Second person that mentions Quinta Maria Cortez in the last week. This is amazing. And, of course, welcome to Coffee and Headlines. I hope you'll find something of use here in our chatty community, which we call the Cluster. A water taxi service between La Cruz Marina and Nueva Marina, PV Marina, and Los Muertos Beach. They have it going south. I don't understand why not going north. Well, I tell you this much, Christine. I'm not an expert on water taxis, but my understanding and my own experience is that the water, what do you call it? The waves, the amount of waves that you experience in such a trip change during the day. So while at some times of day the water may be very relaxed and peaceful and very conducive to be able to go on a water taxi from one point to another, it may not be the same in the afternoon and definitely not in the evening. But overall, I don't know why they don't do something like this. Maybe they require bigger boats. We do know that they are fixing the maritime terminal. They're adding new piers for smaller vessels. So who knows? In the future, this may be the case. Tomas is a former LE. An LE. A loving... I have no idea what that is. The first level of force in law enforcement is presence. Makes sense. But Thomas, I have no idea what an LE is. If you can enlighten us, that would be much appreciated. If not, I will make my own guess. Then came your numbers for the restaurants. I love it. I love it. Many small towns in the States park a cop car at each end of the town, and that definitely causes people to slow down through the town. Interesting. I never thought about that, but it's nice to know that this is done elsewhere. Maybe it will have good results here in town. Michael suggests that doing a study on the traffic light system could improve traffic. Too many short lights and too many long ones. But hey, that's just me. I am not a professional. You see, that's the challenge, Michael. You know, we can come up with all kinds of wonderful ideas and suggestions, but ultimately it is the people that that know about these things that make these decisions for us. Let's see what else. Bill has a nice report from the Marina Farmers Market. Saw Bill So the other Bill selling his bread from Artisan Bakery. Yes, I have great memories of the Marina Farmers Market. I haven't been in forever, but it is really a fun place. And it's nice because it happens in the evening. Let's see what else we have. Another report from the market. Thank you very much. Pat says, I saw many cardboard vehicles along the road on my way to PV. Not sure what you refer to by cardboard, but that's interesting. I hope you did not approach your lighter to them. And that deserves one of these. What else? Another cue. You mentioned once a pre-construction that caused a water leak in Versalles. I did. I think I mentioned those quite frequently, Maria Elena, because it happens, but I don't pay attention to the name of the developments because I'm not looking to buy or sell. So my apologies. I just don't keep track of that information. Let's see. Ronnie says, I'm surprised Tintoque wasn't on the list. Again, I'm not, but that's just me. LE is law enforcement. Thank you. Oh, LEO, law enforcement officer. You see, I've never had problems with the law, so that makes sense that I would not know what those initials stand for. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of Coffee and Headlines today. Tomorrow, Mexican Revolution 101. We'll take a look at where this important event stands in ranks in the importance of Mexican history. We'll also take a look at Las Adelitas, the women soldiers that fought for our country during the Mexican Revolution. We'll take a look at Mexican Revolution music. A lot of music, believe it or not, that we listen to today came from the revolutionary period. So stick around tomorrow. It should be interesting. And today, go out and have an amazing day. I'll see you soon.